Hi, Gary here. You know, one of the biggest transitions we make in life is going from active working for a living to retirement. And this came up again the other day when a client came in who I've been working with for many years. And her husband had retired years earlier, and she was about to do this. But she was at the point, as we'd went through her cash flow, her balance sheet, and taxes, that she could retire today. However, she wanted to work for a couple more years. But there was one little caveat. She got a new boss. She works for a large public company. And her new boss really rules by intimidation and fear. You know, one of those classic people nobody ever wants to work for. It makes your life miserable. And it kind of reminded me of something that I'd heard many years ago and always kind of recurred to me as this statement: the king quakes before the man without fear. You know, in that feudal system, which really is not a lot different sometimes in corporate America, at least that's the way people feel. You know, there's something being held over you because you're going to lose your job if you don't do what you're told. And if you don't go about exactly doing those things, it might be very miserable for you, where you really can't do what you really want to do and you really feel like everything's holding you in place, even though you might be providing great value and really doing a wonderful job for the organization. Well, she really needs an attitude adjustment because she's falling prey to being defensive or fighting back and so forth, and she really doesn't need to do that. She doesn't need a job. I mean, the chances are if she changes the way she operates, she's got 2 years to go, and she really needs to make this transition so she really gets comfortable going into retirement. But if she changes her attitude and just doesn't react to this particular individual, does her job professionally and everything else, it could be an enjoyable 2 years. It'll be kind of disconcerting to this gentleman who's used to leadership by this particular methodology. It seems to work in this organization, unfortunately, but it's not going to work in her case. Now, she may have some other things that she needs to do along the line. We had a blog back in early July that talked about retirement yearning, and there was a whole exercise, if you want to know more about this, in that particular blog, which takes you through how to kind of go through doing more of what you love and getting rid of things you hate doing. You know, and there's another client that said this to me many years ago, and I thought it was pretty neat. Worked for another large corporation. And he said, you know, when you have enough and you had enough, then it's time to get out of there. And I think a lot of people are really waiting for that particular day. But like in her case, it's really a transition, a couple of years. And it takes a couple of years to really get fully transitioned over to a different mindset, a different way of reinventing yourself, a different way of seeing this next stage, you know, in life. And it really is about how life, in this case, business life, changes your money, and how money, because now she has enough, changes her life. It's just an important thing. So it's really an attitude adjustment, just adjusting your total attitude around how am I going to approach now this corporate job on my terms, in the way I want to do it, not in the way the company is maybe trying to make me do it or holding me captive to doing that. So I just thought it was interesting. Now, for you, if this is a subject near and dear to your heart, it's very personal, so I would suggest you give us a call or come in for an appointment to talk about it, because it really has to do with your cash flow, balance sheet, and taxes, and about where you're at and where you're going and how that's all going for you. So, until next time, enjoy.